All right. Hey, YouTube. Hey, Reef Unity Network. Coach Matt here. Welcome to our first YouTube live stream for group work sessions. How these essentially work, if you haven't done this before, is I'm going to be here for an hour or so just working on things in the background. I may even share some of my screen. I'll have some music going. You can use this time to work on some of your other tasks that you have going on. If you've got emails you want to get caught up on, some people like to follow the inbox zero method, where by the end of the week they have completely emptied their inbox or answered everything. It's a good time to do that. Otherwise, finish up some writing. That's what I'm going to be doing. I'm revising a grant today. I may show how that's done. Work on presentations. I don't do whatever you want. Any of the tasks you've been like putting off, this is probably the time to do it. If you ever have any questions or want to bounce ideas off me, put them in the chat or just stop, use the chat, say hello, take a break, whatnot. I've got some tea brewing in right now in my lovely whale mug. It's going to make it a little interesting for me, even though it's 90 degrees outside. But I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to get started on some work. I'll get some music going for us here, and let's get started. Let me know if I need to adjust the audio at all, too. All right, so this is the grant I'm going to be working on today. I just have to make sure that the story's all put together. I think I have some mixed messaging in here. That's what I'm basically going to be working on too. I also need to get this link shared to the stream on Instagram. I haven't done that yet, so I'm going to start there first. You're probably going to hear me talk to myself a lot. That's what I do. It's what gets the job done. Cool. That's posted on social. Now we can actually get after it here. Yeah, that's all good. That's probably fine. I think the biggest thing I've had mixed messaging on is pointing out like what the problem is. I'm trying to solve a problem here, right? Hmm. Yeah, that's fine. We'll mark that as that's ready. That that I don't know so much. I don't know. Might not be as good. I'm not good about, celebrating my achievements. So listing 3 of them all at once, nah, that's not good. Okay, why am I the best person to work on this? Meaning my business. Why am I the best person to work on my business? Or what's novel in my approach? This is probably where I get into some of the mixed messaging in that, well, I'm a researcher. I don't know. Let's read it first. I guess we need to read it first. This is still way too hot to drink. Okay, so a little bit of my dilemma here, my problem, is that up here, what am I working on? I'm talking about helping people navigate the coral restoration field. That's the goal, right? And then why am I the best person to work on this? Do I talk on what I need to figure out is, am I actually talking about mentoring, or am I talking about communicating? I think I need to like hone in on like that I'm mentoring this stuff. Let's see if we can get there. Okay, so I do talk about why I'm the best person to work on this. Yes. Why is it novel? I guess would be up here, but I don't really explicate that. And that's probably what I need to do is explicate, elaborate on the novelty of this and try and make it in a way that doesn't sound like I'm an academic advisor, because there is a lot of overlap. But I'm not telling people how to do their research. I'm helping them do their research. That's the key. That's the key, right? That's the key to everything here. Is this picking it up? Okay. So I almost want to just duplicate this and like Ooh, yeah. So we're just gonna duplicate this for now. And I'm going to separate the vision and I'm going to separate how I'm qualified. And I'm going to start by focusing on the uniquely qualified part because that's what it's asking for first. Why am I the best person to work on this? I need to start with that. And I think that's also going to solve our other problem of trying to answer the mixed messaging issue I've been having. So I'm uniquely qualified to do what? Uniquely qualified to mentor early career coral restoration researchers. That's what I need to show that I'm qualified to do. And I answer that. I am uniquely qualified to complete this work given my integrated research background, which I'll probably need to string out a little more because I don't mention it anywhere else. I mean, I kind of do in the list the most exceptional achievements, but oh, do I need to do that then? Or is that a waste of words? We'll see. We'll try it. We'll try it. We'll try it. We can always cut it. We can always cut it. Of this diverse network. Well, okay, so I'm talking about this diverse network. Yeah. Huh. So that might be a little bit it's somehow both vague and esoteric. It's really vague, and then I'm almost expecting the grant reviewer to know what integrative research means. Like, what the heck? What the heck does that even mean? I don't know what that means. And I'm also noticing the shadow behind me. God, I'm gonna have to really get an encoder if I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm not gonna worry about lighting today. That's like the least of my problems. Maybe I can flip on that lamp. Anyway, I'm distracting myself. I'm uniquely qualified to complete this work. So we're gonna move that down. Because I recently completed research. This is funny. Well, let's reference the problem again. Okay, maybe we can focus on the complex, rapidly advancing field. This is where I can maybe elaborate on that. And then it kind of explains my PhD. Did I put that in the video pitch? Hold on, I wrote that out. No, I didn't. Okay. Okay, so what I'm thinking now is to, God, what am I thinking? So what I'm thinking now is like I'm building on the complex part of the field, meaning like coral restoration requires it's not just the science, like you gotta have it work with practitioners, you have to have it work with um, other stakeholders, government officials. Like there's just so much going on. And a lot of my research included that process. Like it was all geared towards making practitioners' lives easier. That was the point. But I also had to get approval for some of these projects. I had to get permits, which I didn't always. Oh, there was a lot of my PhD that went unanswered because I didn't get the permits for some of my samples. The ones I did end up writing about, of course, I had approval to do. Oh, but God, there was my whole first year I was processing samples and they never came to be. I ended up not being able to use them because I wasn't able to get the permits in time. It was a headache. So, long story short, I'm trying to focus on that. Like, yeah, my research, I had to do all of the things, or at least a lot of the things. I didn't have to do like actual policy making, but like I was brought along through some of the policy process as part of the permitting extravaganza that I had to go through. So cool. So cool. Happens though. It happens. Everyone's got their own, they're trying to protect their resources. I get that. I get that. Can't just go pilfering into another country, even if it was just sand. My samples were sand. That's okay. That's okay. We did our best. This tea is still too hot. I'm going to keep drinking it though. Did I ever have any direct contact with policymakers? No, but government officials. That'll work. Yeah, we'll go along with Google on that fix. That's okay. I don't always agree with Google's recommendations. Sometimes I do. Microsoft's are worse. Or the Gmail ones, terrible. Terrible. I mean, sometimes I know sometimes what I say is wordy, but in an email, like it's fine. It's probably fine. I'm just trying to sound like a human, and humans are wordy. Except in this grant, I need to be less wordy. I need to have a clear message, and I need it to be concise. And I don't know if I'm doing that. C'est la vie. Hmm. And that would be a run on. I want to like combine that idea, but it's good. It would be a run on sentence. And again, mixed messages, which now that's what I'm trying to think through is like, I'm talking about the recency of completing my doctorate, but then I'm also talking about the integrated nature of my research and like how both of those make me qualified to run this business, to mentor others. Um, so I don't really know how I can work out managing having both of those messages, making them integrate with one another, and also keep it concise, I suppose. Kind of makes it messy. And again, it's one of those things like I'm terrible about talking about my achievements. So then trying to tell people like why I'm qualified to do this. I'm bad at that. I'm really bad at that. What's now maybe we I should focus on that. That's like the whole point. Like that's what I wanted to work on during this stream. Was fixing this, but I kind of want to move on and just not deal with it. But oh, because then I'll have if I add in I add in the novelty. That's a third message in one paragraph. What a mess that would be. What an absolute just disaster. But we're gonna try. So back to uniquely qualified. Why am I uniquely qualified to mentor coral restoration researchers? Where'd it go? I lost it. So it's because I did it recently. Hmm. And I do want to keep this, but again, separate idea. So let's finish this thought because it's not a big deal that I recently completed it, but it does make sense. Like if I'm helping early career people out, I am also early career. I know the pain points. I know the pain points. So I'm just going to blurt some thoughts out, and then we'll probably come back and revise that in a little bit. Means, okay. Again, we'll wordsmith this later. I'm just trying to neatly tie up the thought before moving on to the integrative nature of my research and why that also makes me qualified to do what I do, to do this. Oh, we do have someone in stream. Hello, welcome. I'm Coach Matt, founder of Reef Unity Network. Welcome to our Friday group work session. What we are doing here is I'm working on revising a grant that I wrote. Anna! Hello. Okay, I don't have to give you the spiel. Happy to have you here, Anna. I'm working on revising a grant right now. You are welcome to tag along and listen to me ramble on about thoughts and like kind of thinking my thoughts out loud. Otherwise, this stream is going to be used for if you have other tasks you're trying to wrap up. I know you're on break still, which is lucky for you. But maybe you have stuff you want to work on too. I don't know. Maybe your new lab is already assigning you stuff. Because I did that too before I started grad school, I had already started doing work. I don't know why. I don't know why. And I didn't end up using any of that work. But we've got a lot to read. Got art like papers to read. Is that what you're working on? Okay. So is me talking out loud only going to distract you? Which truth be told, the Friday streams, they're going to be full of distractions. No, it won't. Okay. Okay. Some people like the talking out loud will totally throw them off. Other people, I've had friends like they can listen to streams and it doesn't bother them at all. Okay, great. Great. So I'll just keep rambling then. You'll get to see some of the grant writing process. I'm losing my mind on it. I really am. This one's hard. This one's hard. Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate the support. Appreciate the support. Okay, so do I tidy this thought up or do I just keep grinding through it? I'll just. Uh-huh. I don't want to use the word stakeholders again, but I just got to write through it. I do like this transition now. Now I just have to figure out how to get it up above. Up above. Ugh. This is useless. Again, I'm just going to word vomit. Mm-mm-mm. Hate that. I hate this. Ugh. So I'll need to change that. Mm-mm. Shoot. All right, where am I stuck? Where am I stuck now? Okay, we'll just close that off. We'll bring this up, and then we'll talk about combining them. Combination of recent and oh dear. Oh, what is this? Okay, not revising, but geez, that's really bad. Yep. Would it be yet or and? Oh, I don't know. I'm overthinking this, as always. Okay, that's better, but now that phrase is worse. I mean, it wasn't good to begin with, but now it really doesn't make sense. No, that's okay. Because the recency still does matter. But it almost seems too simplistic. Again, overthinking. I don't need to be overthinking this. It was probably fine the way it was. Like, before I blew this up entirely. That's a better way to phrase it. Ooh. All right. Okay, so what I'm thinking right now is to almost leave it as like a topic sentence, like old school days. Like topic sentence, lead with everything you're going to talk about. Make it very purposeful, very intentional. Duh. And then elaborate on each of the points in a little more detail. Maybe not exactly how the topic sentence will describe, but still make it cohesive. Oh, wait. I mean, really, this does cover it very vaguely, but it covers it. Yeah, I can probably bring in the Coral Solutions Hub. I probably should bring in the Coral Solutions Hub. That does, because I mean, it's a big reason why I'm still so active in the coral restoration field beyond Reef Unity, is that I'm talking with these innovators like every week. So I get to see more of what's going on, stay up to date, stay hip and in the loop. Because you know me, I'm really hip. Yeah, for sure. The vote of confidence. I mean, it's still active research. Hmm. I'm lost. I'm totally lost. How did I write this in the first place? How did I write all this content? And now I'm like, what did I even do? Maybe the recency doesn't matter. Maybe I should just focus on my role in the community beyond. Sure. We'll try that. I mean, it's not like I'm deleting anything because we kept everything up here because you never want to delete anything until you're like absolutely sure, especially with writing. Oh, that's not where I was. Up here. Technically, I still am in an active research role because I'm still writing up those manuscripts. Wink. Okay, well, duh. I know this still looks bad. I know this still looks bad. It's fine. I'm gonna come back to this. I'm gonna word vomit here. I still like this. No, I probably don't need to talk about that. I don't know. We're just trying things. Is it sympathize or empathize? Whoa, that was so wrong. Wow, I can't spell this word today. Okay, that's better than it was. That's better than it was before. So I'm happy about that. Now let's make sure this bridges into the next idea, which is about how my research did incorporate a lot of different parties. That's fine. That's fine. Um, we're going to get rid of integrated there. But we're going to add this clause, this phrase at the end to emphasize that I know more about the field than just research. I've had conversations with people, I've had conversations with practitioners and government officials, other stakeholders. So I'm not just a nerd, I'm a super nerd. So I don't need to talk about the combination. But now what I do want to talk about is the Coral Solutions Hub. Because, well, that's kind of a big deal. Like, I'm the project manager and I talk to all these practitioners and other scientists who are creating these innovations for the field. And I've heard of some of the things they've had to struggle with, or what they're looking to achieve, what they need to achieve, understanding their needs as well as their struggles. I hope. I hope. And then I don't know what to do about this anymore. That might just be fluff, which means I should get rid of it. Oh, no, no, no. That's the novelty. I do need to keep that. Because the novelty gets addressed here. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. That's something. Okay, so what do I need to hone in on now? Coral Solutions Hub. Provide that experience. Well, I still need to kind of drive home the reason why talking with all these other people makes me qualified. Not makes it relevant. It makes it relevant. It's relevant to the coral restoration field, not just research in general. Except now I have two sentences back to back with the same. Maybe I don't need that. Haha. Thus I can provide, not can, I do. That is relevant to the coral restoration field, not just research. Okay, cool. Well, I don't know if you've experienced this yet, Anna, but this is something you do have to look forward to. One paragraph can take you hours. Hours. So buckle up. It's fun. You will overthink it. I haven't, but I've heard. Yeah, I probably talked about that with you before, I'm sure. You've heard it from Lauren as well. It's almost funny. I have a friend, he's at, oh no, oh my God, NC State. He's finishing up his dissertation right now. And I know he's going through the same thing right now. He's like, I've been staring at the same paragraph for an entire day. Poor guy. I should check in with him. It's been a couple days. Coral Solutions Hub. Right, right. That was what we're working on. But Friday stream, if we're gonna do this Friday stream thing, like I'm gonna be distracted the whole time. Talking and writing, I don't do well together. I don't do well together. They don't really belong together. Sometimes talking things out loud is fun, is good, it's helpful. But it does slow you down. But maybe I also need to be slowed down. Anywho, Coral Solutions Hub. That's what we're doing. Do I have writing about this so I don't have to reinvent the wheel? I feel like I've written this before. I don't think in this exact context. Well, of course not in this exact context. Uh, 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 uh. I do have language if I phrase it this way, though, so I'm going to go find that. Oh, okay, now I'm getting distracted again. Nope, 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 nope. Where is this? Find the original. Haha, that should work. That should work. Whoa. So, and I'll cut stakeholders here because I've already brought them up. Yep, yep. Make it a little more active, a little more stronger language there. That'd be good. Now I'm trying to link them together. Trying to figure out how to link this in with the paragraph above, but also tie it up together. Forge connections. Okay, pin this thought. I already said forge connections though, didn't I? I probably already did. Connects researchers. Yep. All right, but we'll rephrase that. Forge connections act as a hub, which I know I have language about. Not in, I have not put it in this grant yet. I did put it in, I probably shouldn't be showing this. There we go. Cool. Something about a hub. Not phrased how I want it to. Oh, that will kind of work. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Uh, 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 uh. I know I talk about that. I know I talk about that. Yep. Yep, I've already talked about this. Oh no. Lauren just posted a question for me to answer. Oh, let's read it. What's your favorite memory while researching? Oh, she has two. And what did you want to be when you grew up? When you were in elementary school? Mmm, that's a good distraction, but I'll talk about it now. What's your favorite memory while researching? Oh, I talk Anna, you've heard me talk a lot about things that went wrong. You saw a lot of things that went wrong, but a lot of things did go right. And I did have a lot of memorable moments. What would be one of my favorites during researching? Okay, so this was actually before Coral. This is when I was still. I have a few. I have a few. Okay, I have a few. One of them was back when I was researching seahorses. So I was like a junior in college at this point, going into my senior year. So this was over the summer. And we were traveling. We were in Eleuthera in the Bahamas doing seahorse abundance surveys in Eleuthera. And these seahorses are largely, oh my God, trip to Japan. I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about that one. Oh, that's really sad. Okay, well, I'll get to that. Yes, you're totally right. I'll get to that. So to the seahorses in Eleuthera, they're largely nocturnal. They interact um, a lot at night. So to do these seahorse abundance surveys, we had to go out in the water in the dead of night. This is like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. And where we were has the largest density of seahorses in the world. And so we're doing these counts, we're doing morphometrics, we're doing all these different things, photographing them. But I kid you not, I was kneeling in one spot probably for 45 minutes because there were so many seahorses around me that I had to grab and photograph and take measurements for. There were so many, I didn't need to move for like 45 minutes because there were so many in front of me. So I'm literally like plucking them out of the algae. I have like four wrapped around my fingers, and I'm like photographing one at the same time. But it was actually a lot of fun. Like the water's super warm, it's calm. The work itself isn't too intense, although my advisors at the time, they were tagging them, which was a lot harder than taking morphometrics. So they had the hard job. I had the easy job. So I was enjoying it. I think they still enjoyed it too. I mean, they did the work. Like this was their research, so I assume they enjoyed it. So that was definitely one of the things, one of my favorite moments of researching. And I'll have to like whittle these down for an actual video. But we'll do Japan next because all of my work from undergrad and when did I go to Japan? 2023. No, end of 2022. Yes, end of 2022. All of my work before that was done in the Caribbean, which is awesome. I love working in the Caribbean. First of all, it's close, it's easy to get to when you live in Florida, but that's where I learned to dive. I had spent a lot of time there as a kid with my family, so I've always loved um, working in the Caribbean. It's a great time. But this is for my fourth chapter of my dissertation. We had the opportunity to go to Okinawa, Japan, and I had never been to the Pacific, like ever, ever. So we got to go diving in Pacific reefs, and my work for that chapter involved collecting sediment samples. Really hard work again. Not at all. So I got to go diving on these beautiful reefs. We went to um, the Karamas, which are very small populated islands. So their reefs were gorgeous, like beautiful, untouched. Saw my first sea snakes there. I got so excited to see my first sea snakes that I missed a manta ray swimming over my head. I'm still frustrated about that, especially because I found the photo of the manta ray on my computer the other day. I'm like, oh, it was real. They weren't joking. There was a manta ray, and I missed it because I was like, sea snake. So my head was down in the reef, watching them swim, which was cool, still cool. Oh, Anna, sadly, the Japanese sediment I had to dispose of. I was going to use it for an art project, but I forgot. I put them in RNA later, which is probably still safe, but I didn't really want to mess with it. So sadly, I had to dispose of those samples, which makes me sad because you've seen them. They're beautiful. They've got they've got some black sand in there. But do I have anything else that I grabbed from there? No, that was like my last little bit. Maybe I'll just have to go back to Japan. Volcanic ash was the best, yes. Oh, and I know Ryan wanted me to do he wanted me to analyze the differences in communities based on volcanic ash and the other types, so like pink sediment, normal coral reef sediment. Would have been cool. I mean, I still can. I have all the data. We'll see if I get to it. I still have other things I need to process from that project. But yeah, the volcanic ash was really beautiful. I had never seen stuff like that before. Um, I don't really have any other mementos from there. I mean, we had to pack pretty light for that. Just have to go back. Dr. Parkinson just went back in February. He hasn't even sent me photos yet. Little upset about that. I'll be sure to tell him. I don't know. Other okay. I feel like I had another highlight. Oh, probably the research cruises I took with Shed Aquarium, with Dr. Ross Cunning, down to the dry Tortugas. Those were a blast. I hope they've got plans for it this year too. I'll happily go along with that. Those are just fun trips. Unfortunately, we've always had something happen. The first year I went, the water maker on the boat broke down. The ship, it's a ship, not a boat. So we had to spend a couple of days in Key West, a day or two in Key West. How tragic. Except I'm not a party person, so Key West is like not always super fun for me. But it's just such a fun group of people to go down with. And we just do some surveys, do some cool science. We do collect tons of different things for different projects. Great time. Second year, we were delayed because of Hurricane Debbie went through the Tortugas or north of the Tortugas right before we were going to head over there. So that made it, I don't know, we stayed in Miami for that. So the coordinator for that trip, sorry, Hillary, I'm throwing you under the bus here. I had texted her before I had left to go to the ship. So from Lakeland to Miami. And I was texting her, I'm like, are we gonna get delayed by this hurricane? Like, what's going on? She's like, we're still a green light on that. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm packing up my things. Like, let me know if that changes. Text her again. We're still good. We're still good. She's like, yep, nothing's changed. The moment. So it's like a 4-hour drive to get there. I get all my stuff on the ship. Delayed. We're not going. At least not yet. We're waiting for the storm to pass. I just gave the most sinister stare to her. I'm like, you said we were going tonight. You had me get here so we could leave tonight, which is fine. We had a great time in Miami, which I do not say lightly. I do not normally enjoy going to Miami, but great group of people. So I had a wonderful time. She was really apologetic. I was just teasing her the whole time because even if they would have canceled, I probably would have gone down anyway. Like if she had told me like, hey, we're delaying the trip a couple days, I probably would have gone down anyway. I had taken the time off of work and everything. So it was all ready to go. Plus I missed them. I wanted to see them. So those are probably the three. Wait. One more story. And then I do need to wrap up. I made decent enough progress here. I do need to sign off by 3:30 here. So one of my other trips for this sediment project, my chapter 4. Sorry if you hear fighter jets. Sun and Fun is currently going on here in Lakeland, and one of the air shows is right now. So you'll probably hear fighter jets. So chapter 4, I was going to collect sediment from Roatan, Honduras. Get there, beautiful, had a wonderful time with my lab mate, Mats. Got our work done ahead of schedule, was super easy. Everything was super organized. And I had been working, I had coordinated this trip with my high school biology teacher because I love working with him still. And he was like the inspiration for me getting into marine biology. So I like to coordinate with him when I can as a way of paying back, paying forward, what have you. Also, this is a big deal because I applied for this grant. I had gotten the money. I had set up the whole trip and everything myself. So it was a big deal as a grad student to like, I had done this all on my own. But the funny story is on the way home. My lab mate and I were going through, oh no, that was part of the Dry Tortugas trip. The first year. Never mind. Anyway, the Roatan story holds up. But on the way back from the first year of the Dry Tortugas trip, my lab mate and I were in Miami Airport heading back to Tampa. And he had this ridiculous suitcase, like old man suitcase. And it had wheels on the bottom. And it's literally like a briefcase on wheels. And one of the wheels had broken. And it's like carving up the ground. So he had like destroyed part of a parking lot. he was like destroying the floor on the inside of the airport because he's just dragging along this like heavy suitcase, basically a rock. So I'm laughing because we're tired too, we're exhausted, so everything is funny. But what adds on to it is one of his sandals, the sole had separated like in half. So there was still some of the sole he could walk on, but the other half had split. So he had to walk, and we couldn't find any like replacement shoes in the airport for him. So he's walking around like Goofy from Mickey Mouse, like Disney's Goofy, with like the high step as he's dragging the suitcase, carving up the floor. I'm a couple steps behind him, bent over, laughing so hard, like crying in the airport, laughing so hard as I'm following Goofy with this pet rock behind him. That is a memory that will stick with me forever. Again, sorry, Matt. I'm not trying to make fun of you here. It's just a really funny story. And you were laughing too. You were laughing too. At least this is an early stream, so maybe it won't make it popular, but maybe I'll put it on Instagram too. We'll see. So that was just the first question. She had a second one, but I'm not going to be able to get into that today. I'm not going to be able to get into that. So what we're going to do before we wrap up here, I'm going to make some notes to myself on what I was doing. So when I pick up these revisions again, I'll know what I was doing, even though I was distracted the whole time, which is exactly why I started doing these streams. I didn't expect to get everything done perfectly. This was just a little fun for everybody. So I was trying to incorporate the CHS as experience, tying in how I work with, it's not an audience. We'll just say a broad group. Which gives me additional insights into how the coral restoration field, like the direction it's moving in. I mean, that's kind of a broad, that's kind of a bold thing to say. What I'm really getting insights into is some of the engineering side of the coral restoration field, which does not represent the field as a whole. But a lot of what I'm doing is trying to get these engineering innovations to link up with what practitioners are doing. And by working with both groups, I have an idea of what direction the field is moving in, but I also talk with the CRC enough where we kind of, we'll talk about stuff like that here and there. So we've got that final note up here. I have to sign off here, but I think I'm going to do this again next Friday. Even though I didn't get everything done I wanted, this isn't due till the 30th, so I'll just put in some good time on it next week. But I think I'll do this again on Friday of next week, same time. I'll post a link about it, promote it a little more. I was a little, nervous about how this was going to go, but I think it went fine. I'll try and make some improvements here, tune up the audio where I can, and then get some good clips, share some of the good clips from here. But glad you could make it in today. Hope to see you next week as well. We also have our group work sessions during the week. They're not on YouTube, they're on the website. All you have to do is go in and book the time. Lauren is a big fan of Thursdays, the Thursday 11 o'clock time slot. That one's a good one for me too. Um, so you'll probably see us there next week. But otherwise, you'll see us here on Friday here on YouTube. So I'm going to say goodbye, sign off here. Catch you on the next one. Have a good weekend, folks.